Hey, what's up? I'm gonna be doing a book review. The book is called Jiu Jitsu University. Uh, you know, it's been a while since I started Jiu Jitsu. I've been doing Jiu Jitsu for over 4 years now, and close to 5 years. It's in like 4 or 5 months, it'll be 5 years, about 4.5 years. Doing Jiu Jitsu, and this book has helped me tremendously along the way. It's by Salo Ribeiro. Salo Ribeiro. Or I don't know how to pronounce his name, honestly. I've watched other reviews before I got the book, and they all pronounce it differently, but uh yeah, you know, it's a good book. It's a good book for beginners. I mean, I haven't even went through every technique in the book now after I've owned it for years now, and I still haven't went through every single technique in the book. But I think the most important chapters are they got the book lined up like, if you see the different colors and shades of the book, like there's white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, brown belt, and black belt. So they got the book is cut up into sections of the color of the belt. And the most important sections I always took away from it was the white belt and the blue belt section, because it's about survival and escapes. And I learned escapes from this book that no jiu-jitsu school. I mean, I've been to multiple jiu-jitsu schools like for years now, and no jiu-jitsu school has ever taught me these escapes. So I think they're very valuable. And it's a very valuable thing. Uh, I you know, I haven't like I never like like for example, like there's a triangle, escape in here, and this, was is the best triangle escape I've ever learned, and I've never seen anyone talk about it or anything in my jiu-jitsu school. Like it's just under the radar completely, like no one knows about it. Like I mean, I'm sure plenty of people do know about it. It's in a fucking book, a very popular jiu-jitsu book with thousands of reviews online, like one of the best-selling jiu-jitsu books online. But but yeah, it's just I've never seen anyone else teach it or show it or do it, and I've been teaching it to other people and showing it to other people, and they just like it's always new to them every time I show it to them. Usually, like when you're trying to skate the triangle, a lot of times people will show like you get a lot of posture. You posture up and you straighten up your back, and then you try to get your other arm in. Well, this escape is like, what happens if they got you broken down and you can't, you know, get back up, and it's a really effective escape. I haven't really been caught in triangles ever since I learned it years ago. Of doing jiu-jitsu, years of doing jiu-jitsu, and I haven't been caught in a triangle except I like one black belt, my sensei. Uh, yeah, he's the only one that's caught me in a triangle ever since I learned this when I was a white belt. I mean, technically I am still a white belt because I've never been, I just hop schools so much, but still, like, it's whatever. You still have the skill, even though you're not recognized under anybody's system. You still have the skill and experience that's there. But let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. See, you take your elbow, you glue it to your knee, and then you take your knee and your elbow to his head, and then you frame on him and you twist, and it opens up his guard, and you pass his guard, and it's a beautiful triangle escape. It's just beautiful. Uh, so white belt section survival, blue belt section escapes. If you're good at survive, like that's the most fundamental, like best part of jiu-jitsu is surviving and escaping. Like a lot of people focus, like I've read this book and the philosophy of this book, and it made so much sense to me. And if you ever go to class, it's like the philosophy of a lot of people is like learn as all the submissions you can, learn all the submissions you can, just more submissions, more submissions. But if you can't escape from a position, then you'll never have the opportunity to use that submission. So having this golden opportunity to, it's to submit someone, you need to be able to escape and get to that position to submit them in the first place. Generally, I mean, there's submissions from the bottom, but when you're on top, you have so many more options, and you're kind of dictating the fight. But so you have that book, and it's good. Now it has, like, if you go to the black belt section, which is submissions, I noticed it's missing a lot of really popular submissions. But speak of the devil, I just found the submission I was looking for that I thought it didn't have. And I thought it didn't have this submission, but here it is. I thought it didn't have the baseball bat choke, but it does. Yeah, so it has a lot of pretty solid chokes. It's really a gi based book, like all of it's in the gi. But it'll translate to most of it will translate to no gi as well. So overall, 5-star book. I recommend it. It's a lot of valuable information here for like years of learning. I mean, I guess you could read this book in a day and like fucking, but you're not gonna retain the knowledge in your body. I feel like unless you practice it on other people for years and years, and then you'll develop and become part of your intuitive body movements. That's gonna take a while. So this is a lot of information to dive in. Next, I'm gonna do my book that I'm like reading now is Eddie Bravo's Twister, and I got Eddie Bravo's Mastering the Twister and Mastering the Rubber Guard. So I'll probably do a book review on those in the future. Uh, so yeah, here's just a part of a book. It's like first learn to become invincible, and then wait for your enemy's moment of vulnerability. Sun Tzu, like from the Art of War book. Uh, and then it has a story from Henzo Gracie, or is it Henzo? Helio. I think it's Helio Gracie, like this 90-year-old 90-year-old black belt. Yeah, I'll just read this. I'll end the video with just reading this. I don't think I have too much more to say about it. It's a good book. Uh, the first part of the book is the most important part of the book. I got the most value out of like the first 20 techniques that it showed. Like the first 20 techniques was like the most valuable techniques in the entire book. Now, Like the submissions part of the book, you'll learn all that in class if you just show up to class. But like, there's a lot of escapes and stuff there. Like I never got in class, and valuable information that like you know, little mistakes that you might be doing, and it's just it's good. It's a good book. I recommend it. Buy it if you're into jujitsu. If you're new to jujitsu, or if you're intermediate into jujitsu, then it's a good book to have. Maybe not if you're advanced, but maybe there's some nuggets of wisdom in there if you're advanced. I don't know. But I'll just read this part from Helio Gracie, the 90-year-old warrior. It's like right here in the book. Says, the last time I trained with Helio Gracie, this is Saulo Ribeiro, 6-time world champion, from the perspective of him. The last time I trained with Helio Gracie was a truly memorable experience, and to this day, the most important class I ever had on Jiu-Jitsu. What struck me most was how Helio addressed me. He did not hold me in awe for my titles or championships, and what he said more than surprised me. He said, son, you're strong, you're tough, you're a world champion, but I don't think you can beat me. At the time, I just looked at him sideways in disbelief. After all, how could a 90-year-old beat someone who is in his athletic prime? It was at this moment that I realized how he deftly put all the responsibility on me to defeat him. This is the key to Helio. He never says he will beat you, only that you will not beat him. This is important because he believes he will survive. His survival has nothing to do with perfect timing or strength. Instead, it has everything to do with mastering the defensive aspects of jiu-jitsu. He didn't say he would escape from my position, or he would do anything else. He said he would survive. The result of our training only validated that fact. Helio did survive, and I was not able to impose my game on him. Helio proved to me the importance of survivability and the defensive nature of jiu-jitsu. Furthermore, I took from him one of the greatest lessons ever. It is not enough to be able to defeat all of your challengers. To be able to tell any man that he cannot defeat you is the true to wield true power. Nice.